All right, everyone, welcome back. I've got Caleb here. You're going to have to pronounce your name, your last name.
Fuergutz.
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 Fuergutz. Okay. Good to see you, bro. Thank you so much for doing this. I want everybody to get to know you. So, tell us a little bit about you, what you're up to these days. I've heard a few things, but I want to hear it from the man himself. So, give us an idea. What are you all about?
Right now I'm working on a couple projects. My main project is an apparel company called MY, which stands for Men's Yoga. Men's means right way of thinking and yoga means union. So the totality of the company is basically about connecting men consciously with the right way of thinking, using apparel as a medium to create that link and connection. The other project I'm working on right now is a project with one of my buddies, Nav, and we're creating a center using sacred geometry to help individuals eradicate addiction, as well as create a community that people can come to for healing and higher learning.
Excellent. Now, when did you first think up that idea? Why addictions? Where's the connection there?
So my friend Nav was addicted to certain substances when he was younger, and he came to me saying that this is what he was going to do and if I had any ideas. So I started to share with him the importance of sacred geometry and aligning with the magnetic grid of the earth as well as the cosmos. So he's using me for that aspect of it.
So it's sort of a match made in heaven in that respect, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you mentioned yoga, and I know you're really into that. You're into, a lot of meditation. Where's that connection? Was it that path where you learned how to overcome addictions and in turn help your friend?
Yeah, so yoga means union. It's about becoming one with all of creation. And you can just say it as an intellectual thing that your mind wants to grab on, but you can also dissolve into it and experience that oneness. Yoga, the traditional sense, like doing different asanas and postures and pranayams and breath work, help align you and your body in a way to be able to connect and download the entire cosmos. So when I was younger, I smoked a lot of weed, and it was serving me until a certain point, and then it started to become addictive in nature, and that's when I needed to break free from it. What I use to replace that is Kundalini yoga, especially breath of fire. It revitalizes all your internal organs, and they can't coexist together. Like when you're doing Kundalini yoga every day, you don't even want to put anything that's not natural inside of your body. It's so powerful. It's such a revitalizing experience and practice. It's considered the Raj Yoga, which means the royal yoga.
Well, I've heard that a lot. I've heard a lot of people, there's a lot of different kinds of yoga, obviously, right? And unfortunately in North America here, while there's some yoga that has more to do with the physicality of yoga, which there's nothing wrong with that, I suppose, but would you agree it really has very little to do with that? You fix the insides and then the physicality will just happen. It can't not happen. Would you agree with that?
For sure. Like a lot of the North American yoga is exercise. accompanied with a little bit of breath work and pranayama. It is important to be physically aligned as well, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Like yoga, like I said, means union. So to literally be every single atom, every single particle, every single planet, every single human being, every thought, every consciousness, every single entire universe. Like that is what yoga means, is to connect with that union. So yeah, a lot of the stuff in North America, you're going to be doing it for a long, long time, doing these specific asanas and practices in order to get or even achieve that state. That's why it's important to train with a master who's already achieved perfect yoga.
Now, quickly, briefly, what's the difference between Kundalini per se and maybe some other forms of traditional yoga?
Like Hatha or Ashtanga.
Yeah.
Kundalini is like, how do I describe this? It's like yoga on steroids. It's said that 1 year of Kundalini yoga is the equivalent to 21 years of Ashtanga or Hatha or any of these other types of yoga. Because it's so powerful, it changes the synapses in the brain. It recalibrates the entire construct of the mind. It blasts open all of your chakras, and it makes you so divinely present in the here and now. And it also allows you to go through so many blockages and heal so many different aspects of yourself.
It sounds awesome. So how long have you been doing that, and how often? I mean, I'm assuming it's a daily practice.
Yeah, normally when I'm in the flow, I'm doing it for around 2.5 hours a day. I've been practicing since, I guess, almost 11 years now. I've trained with masters in the Himalayas, in Thailand, in forest monasteries. I've trained with masters, especially out here in Vancouver. Yoga West is one of the most powerful yoga studios in the world.
Wow. Well, it's impressive. Whenever I can see someone who, how shall I say, well, people don't know where we are at the moment. We're 38 floors up in a high-rise in downtown Vancouver. Your little abode here. I'm always impressed when I see someone who obviously is partaking to some degree in the fast life, but can still stay grounded and still keep his practice or her practice alive and healthy. Do you have any tips? I mean, how do you even do that?
For me, it's about connecting with the breath. The breath is it said the eyes are the windows to the soul. The breath is the door, the gate. So the breath keeps you in the moment. When you're aware consciously of every single breath that you're taking, it brings you into the exact moment. So as soon as you find your mind going all these different places, you just bring it back to the breath itself, and that's what grounds you.
Well, there's so much I'd love to talk to you about, just even that whole mortality thing. People are so afraid of it, and I'm sure you'd have lots to say. But let's move to little Caleb. Let's go back. What was your journey? What was it like growing up? What made you who you are today in your eyes?
So when I was a kid, I lived with my mom and my father. My real father passed away when I was just a kid, and I watched him leave his body. And basically, when that happened, his consciousness or his spirit basically went throughout the entire universe. So he would connect with me through signs or through leaves blowing or through digital signals, all these different aspects in order to guide me to myself and my highest good. My mother remarried when a few years after he passed away to a very strict dentist, and he taught me discipline. My mom's love is amazing. It's completely unconditional and so beautiful. Like, I'm super blessed to have her as a mom. I'm very grateful for my father and stepfather. He was harsh. He was hard on me for sure. But he created discipline and a perfectionist in me. So everything I wanted to do to my best total ability, or else I wouldn't do it at all. So yeah, that was my childhood. And then I opened up my first business when I was 16 years old. I was kind of like a skinny redheaded kid in high school. So I wasn't like, I had friends I was friends with here and there, but I didn't have like an actual full clique that I connected with. I like to be with all different types of people. Like, I wanted to be with the popular kids, but then I also wanted to be with the intelligent kids and the creative kids. So I like to be around everyone. I started my first business when I was 16. I worked for a detail shop, like cleaning vehicles and stuff. And then I was like, why am I doing this for someone else when I can create my own thing? So I started to create my own company. I hired two of my buddies, but they were kind of like smoking pot all the time. And we were making money, but not the amount that I wanted to. And one of my other buddies brought me an ounce of marijuana, and he said, we can roll this up in joints and sell it. So I said, okay, let's do that. So we took all the marijuana, rolled it up in joints, sold it, and then made almost double. I used that money, and then I kept on doubling my money more and more and more. I wasn't feeling good about what I was doing. I wasn't smoking marijuana. I didn't smoke marijuana until I was 19, and I was dealing from around 17. So I knew in my heart and in my spirit, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. I was having experiences and I was making money, and I thought I was the fucking shit, like I'm a fucking gangster. Was selling like guns and stuff like that, and it wasn't the right path. It was completely ego driven, and it was actually coming from a place of fear and anger. And I was an abusive being. I was abusive to all the people around me, friends, family, lovers, like everyone. I wasn't a good person at all.
What changed?
What changed? Okay. I cut off all of my fingers with a gas-powered hedge trimmer when I was in my early 20s.